Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Everyone just loves New Mexico to upset number 6, have the potential to go at least one more round. Deron Holmes, Shahade Wells, and Enrique Freeman, 3 players you have to know about. And we're back, everybody. Welcome in. FTN College Basketball Show, back with you. Mike Randle, here as always. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 10 o'clock. We give you what you need. And as always, I'm encouraging you to go over to ftnfantasy.com. This is not a shameless plug. It is a reality. The content we have for you for March Madness is second to none. I have an article coming out on how to pick your bracket effectively, coming out this week with all the historic odds and everything that comes with the seeds, things like that. That'll be out for you as well. You're going to want to be there. And as always, what we do here with the show is we go around the games. I give you some picks, but then I go over to the Discord to our subs, and I'm live on video there at ftnfantasy.com. Join us. Promo code early15 gets you 15% off. You can get a monthly annual plan, and that's what you want for March Madness. It is coming. It is the next big sporting event. It is my favorite sporting event. You have the Super Bowl. You have March Madness. You're going to want to join us here. Gus Kearns is on absolute fire with his props. Walt Waddell, Frank Branks models will have his play of the day out soon. He hit it again yesterday with a 6% edge. This is where you want to be for March Madness. We have you covered. We have a growing family. We have people jumping in the Discord. That's where you want to be. Enough of the promos. I gave it to you. FTNFantasy.com. Get there. Let's get to the people who are here right now. Tommy B, good luck. Dogs are barking today. Tommy, when are they not? When are they not barking? That's what I want to know this year. And Josh Worth, let's get some dubs. As always, I will get going here, and then I will answer your questions. If you have a game you want me to talk about, please drop it in the chat there on the side. Like, subscribe, all that support is great, and I will go through as many games as I can. And there are some big ones here that I'm holding back for the Discord that I can't wait to talk about. Let's get going. Guys, the dogs are barking, and I understand this could be a Connecticut destruction spot. I understand that. And they played Seton Hall away, and they lost, and that was a big step back, and they went away to Creighton and they won by 4, and St. John's at home, they ended up losing. But this is a Villanova team that slows the pace down. This is a Villanova team that, while I don't like, does have the leading scorer in the nation and Eric Dixon inside. This is a Villanova team that still thinks they can make a run at the tournament. They're 15-11. They're 8-7. They have a tough run coming up here, but they played Connecticut at home, and they won 68-66. So this is technically a payback spot. Now, in that game, there was no Liam McNeely. But when I come to a game like this, that is a battle between two teams, I'm going to take the points. I understand UConn could technically blow them out, but you do have players like Luka Poplar who are getting to the basket, and my analysis of UConn has been correct. They are not the same team they were the last 2 years. People who were thinking of a three-peat are lost. Danny Hurley can tell us he's the best coach in college basketball. Look, the last 2 years you have been. You are not right now, and it's not particularly close. Tom Izzo is better. Rick Pitino is better. They've done a better job this year than you have. Aiden Mahaney was a terrible acquisition from St. Mary's. He can't do anything. He is nowhere near the players that they've had in the past that they have relied on to get these big wins. You know, last year they had last year when they played, they ended up really running a lot of what they did through Cam Spencer. And this year, Aiden Mahaney has gone from starting straight to the bench. Liam McNeely is wonderful. I don't expect a 30-point game. In fact, I could probably end up fading him to a certain extent against his Villanova defense. But we're going to start here with Villanova plus 8.5 at UConn. I don't like Villanova at all. I just don't think UConn at this point is solid enough to be laying 8.5 points at home. Next up, Jacksonville, Florida Gulf Coast. I'm going to take the points here as well. Florida Gulf Coast has started off the year very impressive. They were 11-9 and 6-1. The problem is Florida Gulf Coast is headed the wrong way. They kind of surprised me at the beginning of the year with how well they were playing in the ASUN. They were leading the ASUN. Now they're behind Lipscomb, North Florida, Jacksonville, Eastern Kentucky. They are behind those teams. They have lost 3 of their last 4. They have lost their last 2 games. Now, they are coming home after 3 straight games away, so they could get a little bit of a bump. But this is a big game for Jacksonville. Jacksonville is 10-4 here in the ASUN. They are 1 game behind Lipscomb and North Alabama. They have North Florida away coming up. That's not a look ahead. They have very winnable games. They are favored in every single one of their games after this one, with the exception of this Florida Gulf Coast game. Jacksonville played Florida Gulf Coast at home and lost 83-79 in that matchup. So you have a payback spot here. You have a team that is going in a better direction in Jacksonville. They just lost the game away at North Florida, but they had beaten Stetson, Bellarmine, and Central Arkansas before that. You're going to give me points against a Florida Gulf Coast team that is going in the wrong direction, that is not playing good basketball right now after playing great basketball to start the year. I am going to take Jacksonville +3 in this matchup. Now, Miami of Ohio has gotten to us a couple times. Yes, they have. But I want to see them do it again today. Miami of Ohio under Travis Steele in the Mid-America Conference is 2 games behind Akron. They are 10-2. So they've been very solid. But they're coming off a loss away to Western Michigan. I picked them against Toledo. I picked Toledo against them, and they beat Toledo 92-80. Good win by them. But then they suffered a loss to Western Michigan. Now they're playing an Eastern Michigan team that when they played them at home, the game was 89-80. And Eastern Michigan in that game shot fairly well. Miami of Ohio was 9 of 19 from three-point range. I think this game is going to be pretty close. I think Eastern Michigan, who has won 2 of their last 3 matchups, they beat Old Dominion, they beat Toledo, and then they played Ball State and lost away in overtime. They have been competitive. I think the 4.5 is too much. I am taking Eastern Michigan in 4.5 in this matchup. Eastern Michigan is now home. Miami of Ohio is on the road. They are coming off the loss here, but Eastern Michigan is playing pretty well, and I have had an analysis that Miami of Ohio is not as good as people think they are, and I'm going to stick with it here. Look, do with this as you want. I don't care if you pick this game or not. I am not laying 19.5 points. I'm not doing it in a conference game. Look at the record of teams that have been laying 13, 15 points the last couple of weeks. It's almost impossible to cover. Iowa State couldn't do it. They couldn't cover 12 at home against Cincinnati. I just think this is too many. This was at 20 this morning. Then as I was finalizing it and putting it in, it ended up dropping down to 19.5. I get it. They are 1-11, Northern Illinois, but go back to our Sam Houston State comment. When Sam Houston State ended up hosting the team at first place in the conference, they ended up being favored and won. I just think it's too many points. Northern Illinois played Akron at home. They lost by 10. Akron is 12-0. They have Ohio away coming up, which is a big game for them. They have good big-time matchups. Toledo away coming up. I just think this is a lot of points. If you don't want to pick this game, that's fine. I'm not laying 19.5 points. I'm just not doing it. If I'm going to get burned with Mississippi Valley State once in a while, I have no problem with that, but that's where I'm going as well. I'm a fan of Eastern Kentucky. I'm a fan of A.W. Hamilton and what he does with his pressure defense. They get up and down the floor. They really want to force turnovers. They're very aggressive. They don't force turnovers. They do force turnovers, but they don't turn the ball over themselves. Eastern Kentucky has won, count them, 6 straight games, and they're winning games on the road. They won at Florida Gulf Coast. They're playing fantastic basketball right now. They played Lipscomb away and won by 9. I know this is a payback spot. And Lipscomb is hot themselves. They've won 5 games in a row. But if you look at the top of the A-Sun Conference, you have Lipscomb at 11-3. Eastern Kentucky is 1 game behind them at 10-4. It's very tightly bunched there in the A-Sun. Lipscomb, North Alabama, 11-3. Eastern Kentucky, Jacksonville, 10-4, and a couple teams at 9-5. I like Eastern Kentucky. I have all year. I like their pressure defense. They are playing Lipscomb, and they are getting 4 points, despite the fact that this game for Eastern Kentucky is home. They won away. I think they can sweep Lipscomb. I really do. I think this is a good matchup for them. I think they get out and defend Lipscomb. Lipscomb loves to shoot the 3. They're one of the teams that shoot the most threes. They shoot 48% of their shots in A-Sun from 3-point range. So they get out and they guard them. I like Eastern Kentucky here getting the points. Whatever with this game. I mean, I have told you since the beginning of this season to fade Adrian Autry. You don't want to be the man that follows the man. You want to be the man that follows the man that follows the man. And Adrian Autry is suffering that in his 2nd season. They are playing Pittsburgh, who they lost by 4-2 at home. They're going on the road. This is a pick against Pittsburgh, winning by a substantial amount of points. How long are we going to wait for Pittsburgh to get it going here? Pittsburgh, 12-2, 3-0, looking good. I didn't like Pittsburgh all year. I didn't like Jeff Capel after a really good season, and they look like they were proving me wrong. What has happened since then? Lost Duke, lost Louisville, lost Florida State, lost Clemson. Then they beat Syracuse and North Carolina. Then they lost Wake Forest, Virginia, North Carolina, SMU, and they barely beat Miami at home. They were struggling to beat Miami. That game at halftime was 30-32, and Miami is awful. I think Syracuse can keep this within 10.5 points. I don't like Syracuse, but I don't like Pittsburgh more. I don't think Pittsburgh can cover. I don't think they're going to get it going. You look at Pittsburgh, they're not great at defending the three. They're not great inside the arc. They're not great on the offensive boards. Just a shell of the team that they were that started 12-2, 3-0, who beat LSU, who beat Ohio State away. Remember that game Pittsburgh won away at Ohio State? Seems like too long ago. I am taking the 10.5 with Syracuse in this matchup. Joey Wright, are you here? Joey Wright, the Stetson fan, are you here? Because I am taking you plus 4.5. North Florida's deal is they love to shoot the three, and they rely on the three-pointer for a lot of their points. That usually plays well against teams that are better than them. When they play bigger schools, at the beginning of the year, South Carolina in the SEC, Georgia Tech in the ACC. But when they have played within the conference, they have to make those threes. Now, they got hot. They beat Stetson at home in overtime by 1. They beat Jacksonville away. They beat Bellarmine. But outside of that, the threes have not fallen. They shoot the second most shots from three of any team in the country, 53.8%. And needless to say, within the ASUN, they are number one. They are on a 3-game losing streak here. And now they're going on the road against Stetson, and they almost lost to Stetson at home. Stetson, of course, is recovering. They are rebuilding after last year's incredible season. But I have to hand it to Donnie Jones. They played some tough teams. The North Florida game, they beat Bellarmine. They beat Eastern Kentucky away. They are competing. And I think here in this spot, as long as they can defend the three and keep it reasonable, they should be able to keep it close. I am taking them there. A couple others, and I'll get to your questions. I always like Colorado State at home. Have not been impressed with Nevada. This is one of the few favorites I'm taking today. I like Nevada is on fire. They beat UNLV, Air Force, Fresno State, and San Jose. Here's the problem. None of those teams are the top teams here in the Mount West. They lost to Utah State away, got killed. They lost to San Diego State. They lost to Boise State. They lost at home to Colorado State at the beginning of the year. Whenever Nevada plays a team of any substance in the Mount West, they don't play well. They can beat up on Air Force away. They can beat up on Fresno State at home. They can beat on San Jose State away. They have a run now of Colorado State, Boise State, and Wyoming. Colorado State has been playing some of the tougher teams in the conference and has done very well. They won 4 straight games to get to 8-2 in the Mount West. Then they played New Mexico away. Not easy, got killed. Played San Diego State home. Big win, won that game by 5. So they can beat San Diego State in their defense at home, but they're not going to beat Nevada. I'm not buying it. Utah State away lost, but did put up 85 points. And Wyoming at home, they drilled them. Colorado State, Nico Medved, one of the best coaches in the country. Great home court advantage. Colorado State, I'm going with them there. And the last one, you're going to say I contradicted myself. Folks, here's the thing. Seton Hall is not good. And I get what they did to UConn, and I understand that. But now they are going on the road to Marquette. I don't see it. It is a lot of points. I think Marquette destroys them. This will only be like a half-unit play if you want to do it. I think Marquette bounces back here. They beat DePaul at home by 10. I think they roll Seton Hall. Seton Hall is not good. They lost away to Georgetown by 14 points. I certainly think they can lose away to Marquette. Marquette is due to have a night where they hit all their shots. Marquette is too good. They've been great the beginning of the year. Then they went through their struggles. Connecticut, close loss. St. John's, close loss. Creighton, close loss. And I think they got things right here. This is a lot of points, but Seton Hall is not good. Their physicality, their defense, second to none. But that was home against a UConn team that is not playing well right now. They got to the window for us against Creighton, which is fantastic. I am taking Marquette minus 17.5 unit play. Let's get to the comments. Let's see what we got. Good morning, all. Jefferson, good to see you. Glad to have you here. Curly, yeah, I get it. He called him out, but 8.5's a lot. I mean, is UConn going to roll? They're going to match. So UConn coming off the Creighton win, when they have everything going and they have their momentum, can't win at Seton Hall. But tonight they're going to get things going against Villanova. I think there's only so many times, Trevor, you can go to the calling out comment. And if it didn't click after that Creighton loss, I don't see it clicking here. Hypocrite, appreciate it. Hi, Roland in the house. Thank you very much. Yeah, I get it, getting him back, and that's why it's only a half unit. I think Marquette is just a lot better. I think they're a lot better, and I don't trust Seton. I don't think Seton Hall has changed everything. Even with him on the court, I went to the Rutgers game. They didn't look good at all. Jason, let's see. You got a question here about Florida. That is one I can certainly talk about. You know, Florida is scary good. Florida can absolutely win the national title. It's a lot of points, and the only team I'm laying it with is Marquette tonight. That's a lot of points against Oklahoma. They haven't played Oklahoma. Oklahoma has struggled here, but they are very well coached. I just get nervous laying that amount of points. There are times when you think Florida is just going to be automatic, but Florida was not able to cover. They were not able to. They lost to Tennessee. The South Carolina game was only one. Florida's wonderful. I just think it's too many points of Porter Moser. I don't have an interesting one there. I'm not going to go with that game at all. Thoughts on Ohio University? I'm not a fan of Ohio. I saw this one here. Let me look up Ohio. Hold on. Yeah, I'm waiting to fade Ohio in their next game against Akron. That's the one that I'm waiting for here. So Central Michigan today. Yeah, I can go either. I mean, I would lean Central Michigan, but it's not a strong play for me either way. I have watched Ohio. I am just not. I think they are down. They are not the normal level of Ohio team. They play at a fast pace, but they're terrible on the boards. They don't force a lot of turnovers. I'm not an Ohio guy. They lost away to Kent State. Didn't surprise me. App State at home. They got beat pretty badly. They kind of beat up on the bad teams. They won away at Central Michigan by 2. They're now home against Central Michigan. I lean Central Michigan, but not official play. And I think that is it. Guys, I am heading over to Discord now. I'm going to head to the Discord. I appreciate you. Go to ftmfantasy.com. Get a subscription, monthly, whatever it is. Totally reasonable. Join us there. I'm going to get in Discord and talk to all the subs about the other games, especially the Purdue game at Michigan State, especially the Purdue game. We'll be back Thursday, 10 o'clock as always. So we go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 10 o'clock. Saturday show is off the charts. Appreciate you guys. Let's keep it going here. We're getting ready. Conference tournament season. You're going to want to be here. Frank Break is cooking the models. Remember last year, he was the one who told you that Oregon is a great value to win the Pac-12. And what happened? Oregon won the Pac-12 tournament over Colorado. You get one of those conference tournament hits, and it pays for everything else. So as always, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you guys. FTM Fantasy, only place to be. We're ready for March Madness. We can't wait. We find you the edge.
Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Everyone just loves New Mexico.